everybody, welcome to IC 109. I'm in Seoul, South Korea at a local Starbucks, and it's a mostly gloomy day. It's overcast. I'm near the National Assembly, so this is a politically charged location. As I look out the window, I can see a lot of the police vans, police buses that are there to quell protests. All right. If you checked out the recent politics in South Korea, it's pretty chaotic, as the news headlines certainly show. Now, outside of what's been happening in South Korea, I've been traveling, and I've been in Korea. Let's see, for the last 3 or 4 days. Today is 4 days. Okay, today's the 25th, and I arrived on the 21st, so that's 4 days there. So with this, well, I do want to run down what I've been doing over my travels and what I'm doing with my channel. I kind of want to give you an introduction to these most recent videos. So in the future, from this point now, my videos will be released daily, and they are it's a documentation of where I'm traveling, what I'm doing. It also has to do with, all right, and it has to, in those videos where I'm talking about, 10-9, 109, I'm traveling to those locations where those events took place. So I'm trying to bring the story to life by taking you with me to these locations. Thus far, I've been to Japan, and now we're in South Korea. I hope to travel to Thailand. I did certainly want to go to Oman. However, with the political climate, not of South Korea, but of the United States and its involvement with Israel and Iran right now, I don't think I should go anywhere near that region. And Oman is definitely in that region, even though Oman definitely stays peaceful and out of a lot of the conflicts. That's just not a place that I need to be. But I will take my summer vacation to show you the places that I've been to that have where I have experienced, magical, peculiar, moments on this 10-9 journey. All right. So I guess we'll focus on South Korea first. I'm gonna run down everything that I've done since I've arrived in South Korea. So stick with me. Hey, welcome back. I checked the video and I noticed that my head was cut off, so I had to switch it up a little bit. As I said, I'm going to review the things that I've done since I've been in Korea. All right, for you all, for myself, for all of that. I have a little matcha right here. Let me take a little bit of this. Ooh, that's nice. Yogurt, matcha, smoothie. South Korea, Japanese matcha. That's wonderful. All right, so let's start with June 21st, okay? June 21st was the day that I was leaving, the day that I left Japan for South Korea. So around 5 in the morning, no, I think around 5:30 in the morning, I woke up and I jumped in a taxi to go to the Fukuoka airport. I was so lucky that I didn't oversleep. At 5:30, I just miraculously woke up. My body clock got me up. Any later and I would have been a mess, right? Actually, I had plenty of time, but my intention was to get there early because I had a situation where I could not access my boarding ticket, my boarding pass, only until I talked with an attendant at the airport. So I had to get there a few hours early, which I did. I was at the airport in Fukuoka. I had some matcha. I had a matcha tea. No, a matcha cookie, a vegan matcha cookie, matcha premium coffee, right there in Japan. The flight to Busan was mostly smooth. Upon arriving in Busan, it had been 9 years since I was in Korea last. 9 years. So it was just whoo, what a moment that was. I got through customs and everything, and I decided to document my journey. And so I made a video where I was trying to add up all of the money that I was spending once I arrived in Korea. I did pretty well for the first few hours, but then after that, then things got chaotic, and I wasn't journaling. I wasn't documenting every occasion, so that didn't work out too well. Then I learned I had to reacclimate myself to the subway system in Busan. I rode the subways to keep the cost down, budget low, right? I stayed at the Koreana Motel, which was, I was already familiar with that. I had stayed there many, many times throughout the years. It's perfect. Really clean, really nice, a lot of value for your dollars. It was only about $40 a night, which was just wonderful. I went to the casino and I made about, well, it's 300,000 Korean won, but that's I guess like $200 or something like that. But hey, something is better than nothing. And then I was walking through the streets, trying to reacclimate myself to the area. I went through the traditional market, and of course, because of the way that I look, I'm a foreigner, Weigukin. You know, Koreans were looking at me like, "What's up with this guy?" Little did they know, you know, I can speak in Korean. I can communicate myself. I was comfortable being where I was being, even though it was a traditional market, which can be very chaotic. Things were all good. So that was my first day in upon arriving in Busan. In the evenings, I went to a club, the Manila Club, where they have lounge singers, a bunch of women from the Philippines sing and entertain gentlemen. I played darts with a couple of the ladies there and had a good time. And then I retired to my hotel room to recharge for the following day. That was June 21st. On June 22nd, let's see, I was becoming familiar with the community, with the area where I was staying. I had been to that hotel many times in the past, and every time I stayed there, every time I exited the building, I would always turn left, which would lead me to the major thoroughfare, the major boulevard, where the buses, the subways, the restaurants were. Forever I would go to the left. And then on this trip, I went to the right and I discovered a supermarket. And I mean, I really wanted to find a supermarket, and I thought to myself, this area doesn't even have a supermarket. How bizarre is that? No, that area has a supermarket. I just never ventured to the right. And so the whole area took on a different feel. I understood the area a lot more because I could see the people who were there who were a part of one group, and then I could see I could see that that it was just a regular community, and I could see other people of another group. Okay, let me be more specific. As I turned right, you would find the clubs for all of the foreigners, right? Foreigner-friendly bars and so forth and so on. And I went to the Manila Club where the Filipinas are, right? But if you go to the right, you go and you see the supermarket, and then you see more Koreans just doing their normal thing. And so, in my mind, that area was very foreigner specific until I turned right and I noticed, oh, there are foreigners here, but it's still Korean dominant. So I thought it was foreigner dominant. And that happened the next day. I was in Busan. I discovered the market. I bought some oranges. I bought some food to take back to my room so I could eat, have some sustenance, some water, oranges, the like. And then I walked down to Nampodong, where I went to the shopping area and had some spaghetti, which was terrible at the Chinese restaurant. I think, no, it was supposed to be noodles, Chinese noodles, but they used spaghetti. I could tell the difference, and it was like they're taking shortcuts here, and it's uncool. The weather was great, so I made sure to stay outside of the hotel room. Even though I was a bit tired, the sun was shining. You see, when I arrived, it was raining in Busan, and then sunshine the following day. So no matter how I felt, which was, you know, I felt fine, but when I saw that sunlight, I was like, even if I'm a little tired, I need to go outside, which I did. So that was the next day in Busan. I did go back to the casino, and I won. I was so lucky. I was so lucky. I won about 400,000. I guess 300 or something like this. 207. I don't know what it is in U.S. dollars, but whatever. The following day, on June 23rd, I left Busan to go to Pohang by KTX. I arrived in Pohang. I found a hotel to stay at. Very nice hotel right there on the beach, not far from Duhodong, the neighborhood I lived and worked from 17 years ago. The hotel is called the Brown Dot Hotel. I went to my favorite restaurant in Pohang, Sanchon Shikdang. Went to a new restaurant, Farm Table. All of Pohang has changed tremendously. There's a spacewalk, this roller coaster-esque staircase that takes you all up really, really high. I thought I could handle it, but once you got up so high, then it was pretty scary. You know, fear of heights and all. I walked around the community, getting reacclimated to the area that I once lived in. So much has changed again. So much has changed. I found the ballet bang where I washed my clothes, and it's interesting. When I lived in Korea, I did not wash my clothes at a ballet bang, at a laundromat. I had a washing machine in my apartment, so I used that, and I hung my clothes, and that's how I stayed clean. This time, I searched for a laundromat, and I found it. I think the only reason why I didn't find a laundromat years ago is because I had something. I had a washing machine in my apartment, which I learned to use, and so it was no big deal. At the hotel where I stayed, there was a tub, a bathtub, which is special, which is unique in Korea. And I found bubble bath bombs at the local cosmetics store. So I thoroughly enjoyed the baths that I took there. Where I'm staying now in Seoul, it's very Korean, traditional Korean, just a shower head, you know, in an all towel, mostly tiled bathroom, and you wash up that way. So Pohang, my first night in Pohang, or I stayed one night in Pohang, and I had a great time. I guess I'll continue with 2 days. So then yesterday, I was still in Pohang and I woke up very early, around 4 in the morning, and I noticed the sun was rising, so I took a morning walk. The hotel where I was staying was right there on the beach. A long time ago, it was called Bukbu Beach, but now it's Yenelte. So I took a morning walk. You know, I got prepared for the day. Around 9 a.m., I met Luke. We filmed a video. 10 a.m., I left for Gyeongju, where we had bibimbap. And then I rushed to Dongdaegu Station, to take the KTX to Cheonan, Asan, and then to Yongsan here. And then, when I made it here to Seoul, I was looking for my accommodation, and basically the accommodation where I'm staying, the little hotel, hostel, guest house, whatever, it's so hidden. It would have been nearly impossible for me to have found this place. But there was an angel, Chunsa. There was an angel there. He was a postal worker. And when I arrived, the postal worker was delivering, parcels to the homes, and he saw that I was looking for an address. I saw him, approached him, gave him the address, and he said, "Come with me." So as soon as I arrived, he was able to help me and say, "Come with me." And he said, "Go straight, turn right, you'll find it." Without his help, I never would have found that place, or I wouldn't have found it within the amount of time. It took me less than 5 minutes to find it with his help. On my own, I probably would have been looking around for an hour, trying to call people and just like, or something. All right, so that's how my day started here in Seoul. And then I had dinner with Sylvia. Sylvia is a friend from Los Angeles, a former classmate, and she's a world traveler, so she's stationed, she's in the military. She's a colonel. She's a colonel in the military, in the Air Force. And so I met with Colonel Kim, and we had dinner. We went to the cafe, we had dinner, and we talked. And just, we caught up on our lives. Last time I saw Sylvia was at her wedding. I attended her wedding in Koreatown. 4 years ago now. Yeah, quite some time now. All right, so now here I am at this Starbucks drinking my matcha yogurt smoothie, and I'll be meeting a friend here shortly. So I just caught you up on everything that's happened to me while I've been in Korea since the 21st. All right. With regard to my channel, every day, I'll be posting a new video from my journey. Yes, by the time these videos are released, they will be old, but you will get to see everything that I could actually show you. All right? Peace and blessings from IC. You know it. Seoul, South Korea, 2025.